What if everything you believe is true is only that way because of the life that you live? Welcome to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore various questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. And I've always questioned everything in my life, and don't blame me because I was raised to think that everything was nuanced. And that doesn't make deciding what I want to eat for dinner difficult at all. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But I've never lacked in having questions. So enjoy this compilation I made for my TikTok posts, and maybe by the end, you'll start questioning things too. Let's get into it. Why are humans so uncomfortable with the fact that two things can be true at once? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Firstly is the ego. When we recount stories to our friends and over-exaggerate the inner workings of what happened, now all of a sudden we're the innocent person that holds no fault, and we need a villain. And I think we've entered a period of time that a lot of the times our friends can be enablers and downplay the role that we've played in whatever conflict we're experiencing. Another example is when two people get into an argument and argue for the sake of not understanding and resolution, but now that their ego is shot, they need to die on that hill. The last way I think the ego manifests itself is, I think in this current age, there is a bean soup crisis. Like there's an ego issue. And when somebody is talking about something from their perspective and all of a sudden you need to bring up yours and can't fathom that you can also be correct while they are also correct, I think it's a lack of attention that you're currently seeking here, like right now, all the time. And the second one is in groups. I believe that in a society that's so divided like ours, whether it's men and women, politically, racially, within races, I think over-identifying with these groups allow us to become jaded because whatever our group says we'll stand by, no matter what, even if we're joking. And I truly believe that the brain can't decipher between these jokes and the truth. So subconsciously, this hyper support of our group creates disdain and lack of empathy towards our opposite group. Picking sides that already has a distinct stance is a lot safer than picking a nuanced perspective that may not. So I'll leave you with this question, but definitely subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me. Can an ignorant person be morally accountable? Keep it here and keep it simple, Sid. Are you actually good at socializing or just pandering? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Day 2. The other day, I was talking to somebody that's on paper better than me. They were well established in a highly respected field. They were well off financially, things of that nature. And so as we were talking, we started discussing a topic that I had little interest in, but enough familiarity to share the little information that I did know, in efforts to try to relate and find some common ground. But in doing this, days later, I asked myself the question, was I utilizing that information to find grounds of commonality, or was I unconsciously pandering to seem more well-rounded? And I noticed that when humans socialize with others, like friends, acquaintances, co-workers, it's coming from the standpoint of sharing information and everybody's on the same playing field. But when we introduce somebody that's better than us, and whatever metrics you define that as, that changes the playing field. Whether it's from insecurity to admiration to skepticism to inspiration. When humans see a person that has success, it shifts our behavior and evokes some sort of reaction. And that reaction tells you way more about yourself than it does the other person. And honestly, I think it all boils down to intent. I believe that true confidence in oneself, regardless of whatever point they're at in life, is the ability to remain the exact same no matter who the person you're talking to is, which is being authentic. Because at the end of the day, the idolization of a flawed being, which humans are, is like the biggest waste of time. So I'll leave you with this question, and subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me. But do you think that pandering is a form of manipulation, or is it simply social intelligence? Keep it here and keep it simple, Sid. Why does every human civilization repeatedly involve genocide? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Day 3. So I know most people are aware of the main drivers like greed, having power, just the overall ego. But a lesser talked about viewpoint that I think drives behavior to bring such atrocities is not just wanting more things, but the fact that humans will never be satisfied externally. There's this guy on TikTok that posted a video talking about the 7 deadly sins. So he was saying that science and the 7 deadly sins are intertwined. Christians believe that sin was the initial act of disobedience from humans, and that is our cause of mortality. In the video, he explained that all these sins have a scientific measurable impact that's linked to aging and disease, and that's the reason of our mortality. The sin gluttony, for example, which is overeating, destroys metabolism, increases inflammation, damages cardiovascular systems, and dramatically increases the risk of chronic diseases. So if gluttony manifests itself in this way in a physical standpoint, can't it do the same to our behaviors? The gluttonous human appetite for our own agendas can be extremely bad in the wrong hands. And there are so many bad apples in every single society. God forbid they have access to power. And then you add elements of moral superiority, like it's individuals believing that they're the exception. Like, sure, history repeats itself, but we're justified in what we're doing. It's probably the mindset that a lot of these people have. But in reality, it's the exact same situation, same issues, just details are slightly different than, hundreds of other atrocities. And so being a relatively optimistic person, I don't think that it's inevitable for humans to repeat the errors of their ways just because we're constantly changing and evolving. But ultimately, it's like the concept of how people say money changes you. I think that there's a certain characteristic that repeats itself in humans in every civilization that's problematic. So it's not the money, the fame, or the power that changes the person. Rather, it's the person receiving access to these things that can allow themselves to actually carry out the agendas that was already within them. So I'll leave you with this question, but definitely subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me. But if every vice has a biological cost, can our morality affect our health? Keep it here and keep it simple, Sid. Why do people want what they can't have? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Day 4. And I feel like the first reason is control. Humans want to feel like we have a choice, so it doesn't matter if we actually want something, even if it's bad for us. But if the opportunity to choose our own decision is taken away, then we feel uncomfortable. And the lack of choice, which is restrictions, sometimes make us want to do these things. So like when we tell children don't touch the hot stove, when we tell adults don't look now, or like don't speed in your car. Humans value freedom, and restrictions cause defiance. So if it's scarce or forbidden, it must be valuable. And in addition to just being hard-headed, I think insecurity is a huge issue as well, because when you're insecure, you want to prove that you're X, Y, and Z. When people go after other people's partners, I believe that you're trying to prove some type of desirability specifically to other people that are taken, because you want to prove to others and yourself that you're attractive. And, deep down inside, maybe you lack attention, don't believe you're attractive, whatever, but you're trying to spend your time trying to prove that to yourself and others. And sometimes I don't even think it's just insecurity. I think people are literally just spiteful and envious. Like, they like what that thing represents. They don't actually want the guy that's dating the it girl. They may want it because the girl who seems like she has it all together has him. And maybe she does want the guy because she's envious of the treatment that the girl is seemingly getting, or what she deems a girl like her would even accept to have the opportunity to be associated with her. But I'll leave you with this question. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me. How many of the things you're attracted to is caused by resistance? Keep it here and keep it simple, Sid. Why do we romanticize the past? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explain philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Day 5. And I think you think that you've peaked. Maybe you think about your past so frequently because you think that your past was and will be brighter than your future. Because if you're constantly thinking about memories because it was just that good, tells me you're not building anything you're passionate about in the future that requires time and energy in the present. Of course, you're going to be fond of and reminiscent of memories in your early 20s when you're in your latter 20s or 30s, but hopefully they should be replaced with better memories as you get older and time goes on, and not just chasing something that has long passed. Because the hope is, as you get older, you're now possessing more education, more experiences that's compounded upon itself, more money to even build a way better life for yourself. And let's just play devil's advocate for a second. Like, was it even that good though? I'm not gonna lie, like, nostalgia is inherently distorted. Like, we remember highlights and also that really embarrassing thing that we did when we were drunk that one time that still haunts me to this day. But the past is predictable and it's safe, which is another reason why people like to stay in situations that no longer serve them, because it's familiar. And the uncertainty of the future is scary, and our identity and the foundation of us is built on our past. So, like, who are we without it? And so I kind of like to think about it like this. Think of the most painful thing that you've ever experienced and notice how you can't feel that exact level of pain from when you first experienced it. And you may be thinking like, yeah, I remember it, but no, you're remembering the memory of whatever the pain is, not that exact feeling. And so it's kind of like this distorted game of telephone as time goes on, and you're just slowly remembering something that's not even what it was in the first place. So I'll leave you with this question, but subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me. Do we miss the past itself, or do we just miss the person that we were when we lived in it? Keep it here and keep it simple, Syd. Why haven't humans evolved past embarrassment? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Day 6. And I personally believe that embarrassment is essential. If we didn't feel embarrassed about certain actions, then we wouldn't be learning nearly as much about ourselves as we think that we may. Getting confronted for talking about other people by the people you were talking about teaches you to stop gossiping and shut them big lips because the repercussions of embarrassment. Getting rejected by your crush teaches you thick skin and the ability to exist in a world where everything's not going to go your way. And the crucial thing to remember is that humans are social species. We're not made to be isolated. So when we see embarrassment generated from missing social cues or visibly seeing people show remorse and embarrassment after making a mistake, that really holds a lot of value because the simple act of acknowledging, oh, they feel kind of bad, just kind of can't be replaced. And honestly, I think embarrassment can be wanted in a lot of circumstances. Like when we see someone that we deem as perfect, like has it all together, like a CEO of a big company, and they're sharing their embarrassing stories and shortcomings, it makes us relate to them more and humanizes them and makes them actually a lot more likable. And as a social being, reputation's everything. So having the awareness to recognize and adjust how we're being perceived can actually be an asset, not a threat. So I'll leave you with this question and subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me. But do you think it's possible to fully be free while also being aware of our foolishness? Keep it here and keep it simple, Syd. Why does gossiping feel so good? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Day 7. Girl, it's because you're messy. My bad. I honestly think gossiping a lot of the times can provide this false sense of closeness. You know, when we get close to others and have this deep emotional bond, it usually requires vulnerability, trust within the person you confide it in is like a safe space to share your information and comfort you, but just overall provide confidentiality. So sure, anybody can be vulnerable. Great conversationalists can talk about intimate things with anybody, but to get that real deep trust takes kind of a long time. And gossiping, you're skipping that time. Sharing sensitive topics may give the illusion of expedited closeness, but in reality, the foundation of your relationship is constantly talking about other people. So what makes you think they won't do the exact same thing to you once you're gone? Conversely, oftentimes it legitimately does deepen relationships. It's kind of like when you're sitting in the car with your mom for a long period of time, and all of a sudden you just want to tell her your deepest, darkest secrets. And it's just something about that forced proximity. I don't know what it is. But it's moments when you're sharing intimate things that you're going through and getting your perspective, it feels a bit cathartic, especially if you're receiving information you've never even thought of. And other times, it's more about just spreading and gaining information, good or bad. There's a lot of occupations when there's one-on-one time, like nail techs, barbers, hairdressers. Ooh, if them walls could talk. A whole lot of empty time to spread information around. They somehow always know everything because you're telling them everything, and you somehow always lead with some. So, I mean, you tell me. It just comes with the territory. You're in the business of humans, so it is what it is. But, like, you ain't hear from them, though. But it's, like, kind of addictive to see what you can get. Is it ethical? I don't know. Is it right? I have no idea. But I'll leave you with this question and subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me. At what point does gossip shift from social bonding to social violence? Keep it here and keep it simple, Syd. What will be enough? And I think it depends on who you ask, because a lot of people feel that they will finally be content when they get the partner, get the job, or finally get that new apartment, which could all be true. But once you realize that you're still going to be the exact same person longing for something external, then what? Welcome back to Why'd You Do That, a series where I explore philosophical questions about human behavior from a girl who always asks why. Day 8. You were once looking for a partner to just love you and keep you safe, but now you're longing for someone that will provide this lavish lifestyle since you see it all over social media, or someone who you can show off to your friends because they have attractive partners. Or when you finally get that job you've been begging for, and months later you're daydreaming about another lifestyle that seems more appealing. And sometimes whatever external thing you're longing for isn't necessarily bad, because sometimes it's necessary for us evolution-wise to keep leveling up and maximize the best opportunities for ourselves. But I believe that when our indicator of success is fully dependent on something external, then we'll never be satisfied as much as you think that you will. Because when you spend 364 days working towards a goal and day 365 you reach it, you think your body's just going to automatically know how to relax and not be in a constant state of chasing? Probably not. So who knows what's enough for each person, because it definitely does vary. But what I do know, and what I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, and subscribe to my YouTube for more content from me, but in life there will be junk food that stimulates you, and there will be whole foods that satisfy your hunger. So how do you handle your appetite? Keep it here and keep it simple, Sid.